Hi everybody, Dan John here from danjohnuniversity.com. You know, one of the things that happens when you hit a certain age, especially when you've been in a field as long as I haven't, you know, honestly, I started lifting weights in 1965 and I started coaching in 1979. So yeah, on paper, I've been doing this a long time. That's true. But one of the hard things for me to do is give advice to people. I know that sounds odd. Not 5 sets of 2 versus 5 sets of 3, not, you know, salad for breakfast or get a good night's sleep or anything like that. But, you know, I get people a lot of the time that ask the question about, you know, what they should do. And that's tough for me because it's always been so natural for me. I mean, I remember being 10 years old and buying Strength and Health magazine, and I would just read everything. And I've talked about reading Miles Callum's book and just absorbing everything and doing everything they said to do. I remember asking my cousin, he played football for Navy, and asking him about off-season training. God, I must have been 11, 10. So for me, it's always been natural. But someone who's helped me in my career many times, and I've only met him one time, but he's a professor at Boston College University here in the United States. And just to cut to the chase, because I know somebody's going to ask the question, where is that? Well, it's in Boston. And his name is Father Michael Himes, and he has this very simple 3-point system, 3 questions he calls it, about, you know, whether or not you should do something. Usually it's about, you know, usually he talks about vocations, but I'm a big believer that all of us have vocations. So question number 1, and it's up on my gym wall because I've asked so many times, do you love it? I mean, does it bring you joy, this thing? So for me, I love strength training. I love strength conditioning. I spend 3 or 4 hours every morning answering questions or just talking with some old friends about weightlifting. I got a buddy who worked at Strength and Health magazine at the end times, and he gives me stories almost every other day. I love talking with Dave Draper and Larry Draper about the old days and, you know, how things used to be. And God, you know, up my wall behind me, I got pictures from Bill March, one of my heroes, and, you know, Glenn Passy and Clyde Emmerich over there. And just, I love this stuff. I not only would coach strength for free, that I have. When I was at a school here in Utah called Judge Memorial, I kept the weight room open during football season. I might not be able to, but for the rest of the year, after school, you know, I would go in the weight room. If I wasn't working out, I would grade papers or do whatever I had to do. But I would train with the kids day in and day out. One of my favorite times in my career was going up to these football games with the late, great Lane Cannon, and we would talk about these books that we were reading and whether or not this stuff was true or not. And sadly, he was reading that hard gainer nonsense, and most of what he read was not as true as it could be. Do you love it? If you love it, man, you'll do it for free, do it. The bulk of the stuff I do in my life that really brings me the most amount of money, I'm shocked when I get the check. It's like, you're paying me to do this? I'd do it for free. Don't tell them, because I need the money. Number 2 is an important question, and basically it comes down to this. Are you good at it? In my teaching career, I worked with a lot of teachers who wanted to be teachers, but were terrible at it. I mean, God bless them, they tried. They worked so hard, worked so much harder than I did, but they weren't good at it. You know, I am working with some teachers at a school to help them teach better. And one of the things that I can pick up within the first 20 minutes of our conversations, and I'll ask the principal or department head after, I said, you know, is Edna a good teacher? And they'll say, well, we're working on it. I go, I know they're not, because of the questions they ask. They you know, whatever cliche you wanna you know, use, they missed the forest because of all the trees in the way. They missed the point. I'll be trying to go through some very simple but elegant, simple way of explaining a complex concept, and their hands will come up about some tiny derivation of a thing, and it stop, and the rest of the group will look over like, I finally understood. And it can be something as simple as, you know, the 9 choirs of angels or something like that, something that, comes to me like that. If it comes easy to you, maybe that's what you ought to do. If you love it, and number 2, it comes easy to you, do it. And the third one is the hardest one. Father Himes has a funny thing about many people decide that they want to do like church work or want to work in a school, and they feel like they are born to do it. I am born to work with the most successful sports team in the world, and I'm just going to go knock on the owner's door and say, here I am, your prayers are answered. But there's a sad truth is sometimes we don't want you. You might think you are born to teach this or that, but you ain't born to do it. We don't want you. Question number 3, do people want you to do this? I guess the way I discern whether or not I should stay in as a coach is, and I retire from coaching probably 5 or 6 times a week. Now, that's a joke. A year. 5 or 6 times a year I quit. But then I'll get a call from somebody who talked to somebody who talked to somebody, and the person on the phone really wants to be a better discus thrower, shot putter, hammer, javelin, weightlifter. And their enthusiasm, the fact that they want me so much, me, the plain Jane the wallflower at the dance, they want me to coach them, means so much to me. Before you know it, I'm putting on the sunscreen, putting on the hat, putting on my throwing shoes, and going out to the ring again. So, question number 1, do you love it? Question number 2, is it easy for you? Are you good at it? And some people aren't. And number 3, are people willing to pay you? Do people want you to do it? In everything in my life that means anything to me, I laugh when I look at those 3 questions. I laugh. Of course. God, I love it. Am I good at it? Well, humbly, I'm great at it. Do people want me to do this? Yeah, people want me to do this. And on things I'm not good at, it doesn't make me happy. I struggle trying to get it done. And frankly, I suck, and everybody knows I suck. So there you go. I hope that helps. It's changed my life, and I hope it changes yours.